Meantime, ahead of tomorrow's peace talks between U.S. and Ukrainian officials, President Trump has revealed that he has just about lifted the intel pause on Ukraine.
Would you consider lifting the intel pause on Ukraine? What does Ukraine have? Well, we just about have. I mean, we really just about have. And we want to do anything we can to get Ukraine to be serious about getting something done. What you have to do is you have to make a deal. And you have to stop the killing. It's a senseless war, and we're going to get it stopped.
Iowa Congresswoman and Army veteran Mariannette Miller-Meeks sits on the House Energy and Commerce Committee and the House Critical Materials Caucus, and she joins us now. Congresswoman, good morning to you. So a positive sign there from President Trump that things are moving in the right direction ahead of this meeting in Saudi Arabia. And the goal is to set the stage for peace talks between Ukraine and Russia. So what are your expectations when it comes to this meeting, and what could come out of it later this week?
Well, I certainly think President Trump has let it known that there is senseless killing that is going on, that as he and his security advisors have indicated, there's not a way that this war is going to turn out in a more favorable stance, given the billions of dollars that have gone into funding it. And so that Ukraine and Europe need to be serious about coming to some sort of peace agreement. Now, when it comes to the critical minerals, this is certainly something that benefits both the United States, but all of our allies and other countries, and to be able to work through this, to have mining of critical minerals, to be able to use those for renewables and the various electronic components, as you had just talked about, would be something that would be both beneficial for the United States and for Ukraine. And within that is an implicit security guarantee if you have U.S. companies in Ukraine accessing these minerals, that's something that the United States would be interested in protecting as well, too. So I think that President Zelensky has gotten the message that President Trump is serious about achieving peace within this region, and doing so in a very rapid fashion.
So one of the people who will be in the Ukrainian delegation, Congresswoman, is the Ukrainian defense minister who survived a poisoning attempt in 2022 after meeting with Russian officials. So clearly, getting these two sides to agree to anything is going to be a massive undertaking. And on Friday, President Trump said that he is strongly considering large-scale sanctions on Russia if they don't come to the table. Do you think that that is what it's going to take, and do you foresee that taking place?
Well, certainly. We know Russia's very aggressive. We know that Putin has poisoned other individuals. There was a recent death of Navalny while in prison. And I do think that, President Biden, his actions, his slowness to apply sanctions. And then the other thing was, restricting American energy production and oil and gas production actually was funding both sides of Russia's war by sending money to Ukraine and weapons to Ukraine, but yet allowing the global price of oil to come up as we constrained our ability to supply. That allowed Russia to earn more money from selling oil and gas. So, yes, sanctions are something that would be effective, but the other thing that would be effective is for as rapidly as possible the United States to increase oil and gas production.
Meantime, all eyes on Congress this week as House Republicans plan to vote tomorrow on a CR to keep the government funded. Trump thinks it will pass, but he signals a shutdown could happen.
Could happen. I mean, the Democrats want that. They want to destroy the country. So I can't tell you, but it could happen. It shouldn't have happened, and it probably won't. I think the CR is going to get passed. We'll see, but it could happen. We never know.
Are the votes there, Congresswoman?
I think so. On the Republican side, we realize this is something that, we have members that do not like to do. None of us like to do a continuing resolution. We would rather have had the Senate take up our appropriation packages that we sent over to the Senate. There are things that, we had wanted to have into a end-of-year package, but everyone's giving up a little something. But there are certain Democrat members who have said, we should just shut down the government. If they do that, they know that the Republicans are going to make them pay for it. But mostly, the American people pay for this. And that just shows how tone deaf they are, that we're not allowed to, get on with the America First agenda and President Trump's agenda. So if the Democrats want to do this, It hurts the American people, and we'll make sure the American people know that the Democrats are responsible.
As one of those American people, I can say it sure feels like we do this shutdown dance every 3 months or 4 months or so, and it's getting
a little
tiresome.
two-step.
So hopefully you guys can get it figured out this week before Friday. Congresswoman
Thank you so
Mariannette
much.
Miller-Meeks, we appreciate it.
Great having you on.